1970s until Walter Becker's death in 2017. And Do It Again is a funny title in part because this isn't even their real first single. Their real first single, released earlier in 1972, has already come and gone, making so little impact that for decades afterward, it will be hard to say whether the record was ever sold in stores or simply pressed up and mailed to disc jockeys, who ignored it. The A-side is a song about Dallas, on which they let their drummer sing lead. Presumably it's Dallas, Texas, but in the song, Steely Dan do not seem to have strong feelings, or even impressions of the place. Dallas exists solely as a place for the singer to say goodbye to, because he must. He seems to feel okay about it. The B-side is Sail the Waterway, about a man who considers chucking it all to make a life on the sea. These were perfectly decent 70s rock songs about men and the allure of rambling, a fruitful 70s rock subject. In 1975, Dallas will resurface on the 8th album by the country rock band Poco, and around the same time, Denny Doherty of the Mamas and the Papas will record a version of Sail the Waterway. Eventually, technology will advance to the point that anyone with an internet connection can listen to Steely Dan's versions of Dallas and Sail the Waterway at any time. And by the time that happens, technology will also have made it possible for Donald and Walter, who will have written off the entirety of their first 3 70s albums as juvenilia, and seem to almost mean it, to describe Dallas as Stinko in an online chat hosted by CompuServe. Dallas and Sail the Waterway will never appear on a domestically released Steely Dan album or greatest hits collection. So Do It Again is and is not Steely Dan's first single, in that it's the first one they're willing to acknowledge. Donald and Walter will dwell comfortably in this kind of contradiction for the rest of their collective career. They will become a cult band whose catalog, paradoxically, includes at least a dozen enduring radio hits. Precociously jaded, they'll express their dim view of the present day in songs recorded on the most modern cutting-edge equipment available. They will embed blue ribbon misanthropy in music designed to go down as smooth as creme de menthe. They're grumpy and untelegenic, and they fill their albums with songs about pedophilia and heroin, but their hits will be heard in contexts in which they'd never be caught dead. In 1978, 6 years after Can't Buy a Thrill comes out, and 4 years after Steely Dan quit touring, Donnie and Marie Osmond and a line of ice dancers will perform Reelin' in the Years at the top of an episode of their ABC variety show, pausing between verses to introduce special guests Ruth Buzzy, Buddy Hackett, and Suzanne Summers. Within a few months of its release, Do It Again will crack the top 10. But it enters the Billboard Hot 100 at number 98. It slips in through the side door of 1972, when most people are still busy processing new songs called Starman, Rocket Man, Lean on Me, Heart of Gold, Take It Easy, Oh Girl, Backstabbers, Tumbling Dice, Doctor My Eyes, and Let's Stay Together. Each of these songs feels in its own way like an announcement, a hard line drawn between the musical past and the present. If Do It Again takes a while to catch on, it's partly because Do It Again is less of a statement and more of an insinuation. The first 4 notes pull you in off the street, opening a curtain on a room where the musicians are already playing. The first minute of this song feels like a story already in progress, even before the singer opens his mouth. But it also feels like the story's been waiting for you, and now it can finally begin. The music tells you nothing about the people who made it. There's a solo played on something that sounds like a rusty sitar, Latin percussion, a wavering science fiction movie organ line. The song seems to come from nowhere, evocative yet uncommitted to any of the styles it touches on: psychedelia, country, the mambo. This band could be a gang of drugged-out longhairs or a lounge act playing...